There comes a time in every life when everything stands still. The waves move, the wind blows, yet inside, silence screams. He hadn't been here in years. This dock once echoed with her laughter. Now, it whispered only memories. He wondered if time had healed or simply hidden the pain. He had returned after years of running from himself. That single photograph had followed him like a shadow. Maybe deep down, he still hoped that somewhere she was waiting, that memories could still find their way back home. Far away, in another town, she felt something strange, a tug at her heart, a wave of nostalgia she couldn't explain. Sometimes, the soul remembers what the mind tries to forget. She whispered his name softly, and for the first time in years, she smiled. She opened the old diary. Every page carried a storm. Tears turned into ink, promises into silence. But hidden between those lines was something beautiful, the story of two souls who once believed forever was real. That day under the umbrella, the world seemed lighter. They talked about dreams, laughed about silly things, and built castles in the rain. She had said, "Love doesn't need forever, just honesty." He never forgot those words, though life taught him how fragile honesty could be. The umbrella was still there, old, silent, yet alive with memories. It was more than cloth and metal. It was a symbol of everything that once was. He wondered how something so simple could carry so much weight. For the first time, he prayed, not for success, not for peace, but for her. Somewhere inside, he wished she was happy, even if not with him. Because love, real love, doesn't always ask for return. Sometimes it just waits quietly. Every light she lit was a prayer, not for him to come back, but for the strength to move forward. The night sky above her seemed endless, yet every star reminded her of a moment once shared. Across miles of distance, two souls looked at the same stars. Unknowingly, they shared the same silence. Time had separated them, but the universe had kept one thread alive: memory. That letter had ended it all. One word, goodbye, had carried a lifetime of emotions. But now, reading it again, he realized maybe it wasn't ending. Maybe it was just a pause. He used to believe strength meant not looking back. But as the morning sun touched that letter, he realized real strength is in feeling everything and still standing. The words once broke him, but today they reminded him how deeply he had loved. She had walked this path before, when laughter followed her steps. Now only the sound of leaves filled the air. Some places never forget the people who once loved there. He ordered her favorite drink, out of habit, not hope. The cup sat untouched. Around him, the silence spoke louder than the past. Sometimes closure doesn't come from words, but from the courage to return where it all began. He could still hear her laugh echoing in the walls. That cafe wasn't just a place. It was a witness to promises made under the illusion of forever. He smiled because even pain felt sacred when it came from love. She wanted to write something simple. How are you? But those three words carried the weight of 1,000 memories. So, she deleted them just like that. Some messages are meant to stay unsent, yet they echo the loudest. He didn't plan to see her, but destiny has a way of pulling hearts into familiar roads. He stood there, one knock away from rewriting his story or ending it forever. In that single moment, years melted away. No words, no apologies, just eyes that said everything. Time had changed them, but their silence felt the same. They didn't talk about the past. They just sat, letting the quiet heal what words once broke. Sometimes love returns not to stay, but to remind you it was real. He looked at her and saw not who she was now, but who she had always been, his calm in chaos, his reason for hope. She didn't smile, but her eyes thanked him for coming back. In that single moment, years melted away. No words, no apologies, just eyes that said everything. Time had changed them, but their silence felt the same. The hardest part of love isn't losing someone. It's meeting them again and realizing you still care. Yet sometimes, love needs distance to stay pure. She watched him fade into the distance, and for the first time, she didn't cry. Some stories don't need an ending. They just need peace. The sea was calm that morning, like it knew something had changed. The past no longer hurt. It just existed, like an old song that no longer made him cry. She came to the same place days later, maybe hoping to feel what he once did. The sea didn't speak, but somehow, it told her everything she needed to know. They were miles apart, yet connected, by time, by memory, by love that didn't die, only changed its shape. He wrote, not for her, but for himself, to remember that love, when pure, never truly ends. It just becomes a part of who you are. She realized forgiveness isn't about forgetting someone. It's about freeing yourself from what could have been. She finally let go, but with a smile. They walked different roads now, yet carried the same lesson. Love isn't about staying. It's about changing you into someone better. Some endings are gentle, like tides that take away footprints but leave the memory of where you stood. Their story had ended, but their souls had learned to love again. Every ending carries a beginning hidden inside. He found peace. She found strength. And somewhere between pain and healing, love found its truth.